Hi. Thanks for joining me today on Friday. Fact Check Friday. I've got a good one for you today. It's about everybody's favorite vice presidential nominee, Kamala Harris. And I happen to know a lot about her. As far as I know, I'm the only one that's done a video review of her book. And I also put out a really funny, I think silly meme about her name that didn't do well at all. Both of those will be at the end of the video. You can check those out. But today, I'm going to do a fact check because the fact checkers have been bending over backwards to defend her. It's really quite incredible. Now, the one that I am going to do today is about her appearance on The Breakfast Club. This is a radio program. And this fact check was done by USA Today. Now, if you don't know, The Breakfast Club is a radio show, New York City. It is hosted by Charlemagne the God. That's the little tiny 5'6" guy whose real name is Larry over there on the left. I understand if you're 5'6" and your name is Larry, why you might want to compensate by calling yourselves Charlemagne. And then that's not enough, so you throw in the God. I'll just call you Larry. And DJ Envy over there on the right side. But they interviewed Kamala at the beginning of her presidential run in 2019. Now, this fact check is from Matt Brown, who is a terrible fact checker. Here's the tweet. Misinformation about Kamala Harris is spiked since her VP announcement. Some posts resurrect old claims that Harris lied during her 2019 appearance on The Breakfast Club. She actually 100% did lie. Spoiler alert. Not just once, but through the entire interview. But let's get to the story. Fact check. Claims about Kamala Harris' comments on radio program are inaccurate and they lack context. And I'm pleased that Matt Brown here is going to put things in context for us by ignoring a whole lot of stuff. So let's get to it. The claim is that she listened to Tupac and Snoop Dogg while smoking weed in college despite graduating before their musical careers. Kamala Harris, running mate of the presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden, is no stranger to controversy. One critique leveled at the California senator went all the way back to her college days. Kamala Harris said she smoked weed in college while listening to Tupac and Snoop. A Facebook graphic shared over 400 times reads, Snoop's first album, 1993, and Tupac's first album, 1991. The post continues. So here's the actual meme that I pulled off Facebook. And let's see. She did say she smoked weed in college. And they asked her what she was doing then, and she did mention Tupac and Snoop. So that all is accurate. I do want to say I don't care. The fact that someone would get wrong what they listened to in college is no big deal to me, especially people that go to graduate school and whatnot, because she went to law school. So it's easy to conflate law school with undergraduate. If you were listening to Tupac and Snoop in law school and you thought it was back in college, who cares? That's a big who cares. You could ask me, hey, Tom, what did you listen to in undergrad? And if I didn't think about it, I'd say, oh, I loved Oasis. Turned out Oasis came out much later after I graduated. That was something I listened to when I was in grad school, right? So the fact that she made a mistake here is a big who cares to me. But not to this fact checker, because this fact checker is going to bend over backwards to explain this to us. So it says here, it's missing context. It says, have you ever smoked? Charlemagne the God, or Larry, one of the hosts, asked Harris concerning her history with marijuana. I have, and I inhaled, Harris replied. It was a long time ago, she chuckled. He asked her if this was in college, and she said yes. That part of it not included in this fact check for whatever reason.
Have you ever smoked?
I have.
Okay. Like
And I inhaled. I did inhale.
Okay.
It was a long time ago. But yes.
I know you have to go. They say you have to go. I just wanted to
I
ask.
just broke news.
I mean, was it in college?
Now, later in the interview, co-host DJ Envy asked Harris, What does Kamala Harris listen to? Before Harris had a moment to answer, Charlemagne the God quickly asked her what she was listening to when she smoked marijuana in college. Harris briefly laughed at the quick exchange, which caused a stir in the famously raucous recording studio. How about that for unbiased reporting, right? Let me read that again. Harris briefly laughed at the quick exchange, which caused a stir in the famously raucous recording studio. She then made eye contact with DJ Envy, who offered Snoop Dogg as a possible artist during the crosstalk. Oh my goodness, oh yeah, definitely Snoop, yeah, Tupac for sure, Harris said. And here's where the fact checker just goes too far. Audio alone of the interaction leads to uncertainty about the question to which Harris was responding, whether DJ Envy or Charlemagne the God's question about what Harris listened to in college. Video of the exchange, however, shows Harris's body language is clearly responding to DJ Envy, avoiding eye contact with Larry, Charlemagne the God, while she does so. So here's the thing. Here's the clip, and you decide for yourself who she's responding to.
What do you listen to? Because I know she has to go. So what does Kamala Harris listen to?
What were you listening to when you was high? What was on? What song was?
Oh my goodness! Oh yeah, definitely Snoop. Tupac for sure.
Now, to me, I think she's responding to both of them, and the fact that she got it wrong is a big who cares. I don't care. It's not a big deal. People make mistakes about who you listen to at different times. We can't remember 20, 30 years ago what we were listening to. It's a bit of a blur. So it's a big who cares. I think that she was answering the question of what she was listening to while she was getting high in college. So that's my interpretation of it. Maybe you think otherwise. But here's the part that the fact checker left out, which was the immediate next question, which is, what are you listening to today? What hip-hop artist are you listening to today? To which she talked about loving Cardi B.
What were you listening to when you was high? What was on? What song was?
Oh my goodness! Oh yeah, definitely Snoop. Tupac for sure.
What do you listen to now? What's your favorite hip hop artist now? What's your favorite artist?
You know who I really love is Cardi B.
You like Cardi B?
I really do.
Okay.
So my question for the fact checker is, if she was asked what she's listening to, and then is followed up with what are you listening to today, it seems like the first question is what did you used to listen to and what do you listen to today? That's what makes sense to me. If she was answering what she listens to today and she said Snoop and Tupac, then why would they ask her what is she listening to now? Right? And then the response would be, I just told you, Snoop and Tupac. But that's not what she said. Oh, she's like, now I listen to Cardi B. That's all omitted from this fact check that just shows that this Matthew Brown is just a tool. He is a tool for the establishment to run cover for Kamala Harris. Now, what was interesting is in the article, they linked to the video, and I'll link to the video too. You can watch the whole thing if you want to torture yourself. But he didn't timestamp it, so I didn't know exactly when this exchange was, and so I had to skip through the article. I had a hard time finding one response that Kamala Harris did that was truthful. I'm being honest. I don't know that she was truthful one time in this entire interview. And if you watch the interview and you find a time that she's being truthful, let me know in the comments, because I didn't see any. But here's just one exchange as an example of what a liar she really is. Larry asked her, hey, there's a meme that says that 1, you're not African American, 2, your parents were immigrants, and 3, you were raised in Canada. Fact. Right? And, well, here's that.
Yeah, another meme says, Kamala Harris is not African American. Her parents were immigrants from India and Jamaica, and she was raised in Canada, not the United States. And it said, fact. That's what the meme said.
So I was born in Oakland.
Yeah.
and raised in the United States, except for the years that I was in high school in Montreal, Canada.
And her response was to laugh and say, I was born in Oakland and, I was only in Canada in high school. Well, let me put that into context for you, something that the fact checkers are not doing. Now, the first part is that she's not African American. Now, again, I don't care. Okay? But technically, right, if you look it up, African American means someone whose ancestors were descendants of slaves. So technically, right, Barack Obama, his dad was Kenyan. He's technically not African American. He's a black American. Okay? I don't care. Nobody cares, right? Everybody loved him anyway. So that's a big who cares. But technically, right, he was an African American. Kamala Harris's mom is from India. Her dad is from Jamaica. Jamaican, right? And her dad actually wrote about how he was the descendant of slave owners. Okay? So technically, she's not African American. She does not have any ancestry that were slaves at all. And so technically, she's a black American. But that's a big who cares. I don't care. Not a big deal. But it is true. Not African American. The second point in that meme is that her parents were immigrants. She skipped over that. Her parents were immigrants. Again, don't care. I don't care. No big deal. Dad from Jamaica, mom from India. Great. They came here and they were very successful. Skipped over that. Didn't talk about that. And the third point was that she was raised in Canada. All three of those were true. In fact, in her own book, right, she says that she moved to Canada 7th grade. 7th grade, 8th grade, and all of high school was in Canada. But she responded to Larry, or Charlemagne, that she was in the United States the entire time with the exception of high school. Again, she's omitting middle school. She's omitting all of middle school as if that doesn't matter. And if I think about it, yeah, you know, she makes a big deal that she was born in Oakland, but does she remember even living in Oakland? You know, I was born in the South. I don't remember that at all. I remember zero of it. We lived a little place in California. I remember little of it. No, not little. I remember none of it. Okay. What I remember is where I went to middle school and where I went to high school, right? That's where I think that I'm from. I've lived in Portland longer than I've lived anywhere else in the world, but I don't even think that I'm from Portland. I think about, you know, where I went to middle school, where I went to high school. That's where I grew up. But according to Kamala Harris, she didn't grow up where she went to middle school and high school, right? In fact, she's going to lie by omission and not tell DJ Envy and Larry where she went to middle school. She's just going to keep that to herself because she thinks that that plays better. So again, through this entire exchange, I didn't find one thing that I believed that she said. I think that she lied throughout the entire interview. But this fact checker goes out of his way to cherry pick and to bend over backwards to try to explain how she was correct. I leave you to check it for yourself. Let me know what you think of this in the comments, and I hope you have an awesome weekend. Peace.